So we have new market stats out, and I wanted to kind of explain what's going on in the Austin market. So I'm going to share my screen with the latest Austin Board of Realtor stats. So this is for Travis County. They released stats for Williamson, Caldwell, Bastrop, Austin MSA, which is all of the counties, and the city of Austin. So I wanted to point out Travis County specifically because I thought it was quite interesting. So these are for April. You can kind of see here that the median sales price 505 is down about 2%. These are year over year comparisons. So if that gives you some context. What's interesting though, that even though values have gone down 2%, closed sales have gone up almost 5%. So we're seeing more homes close in a market where pricing is going down. That kind of makes sense, right? But even though sales prices have gone down, our overall sales volume for Travis County is higher. It's 5% higher, which makes sense, right? More homes, more closed sales are happening. Therefore, the total sales volume has gone up. Months of inventory is 4.8 months. What that means in layman's terms is it would take 4.8 months for every home in Travis County to sell. So, in a balanced market where the inventory is 6 months supply, meaning it would take 6 months for every home on the market in Travis County to sell, that's when you have buyers and sellers essentially have equal negotiation power. Uh, we are technically in a buyer's market at 4.8 months. Now, again, this is Travis County, and real estate can be very, very hyper local down to the neighborhood, more so even in the zip code, right? So if you are in Circle C, you may see 2.7 months of inventory. And in fact, I could actually look that number up. But if you are out there buying a home or selling a home, I take this into consideration when I'm pricing my properties. I'm looking at how much inventory is in that market area and how long it's taking for homes to sell. So, new listings, which is wild, this is the supply of homes, both new listings and active listings are down. We're seeing supply of homes decrease quite significantly compared to last year at this time. So compared to April of 2025. So less new listings coming to the market, 10% fewer listings. So if you are a buyer out there and you're like, I'm waiting for this spring and summer market to kick up new listings, and you're wondering why nothing is coming up, this is why we have fewer listings coming up. Active listings. So I think a big part of the active listings going down is a couple of things. One is that there's fewer people putting their homes on the market for sale. And two, you could see pending sales have gone up over 20%. Pending sales represent demand. So there are more buyers out there going under contract, 20% more demand than April of 2025. So things are also selling and going pending. So fewer active listings on the market. But you can see that discrepancy. Look at the 5,600 active listings compared to 1,500 pending. Even though the percentages are something to note, but just look at the numbers. We have way more supply of homes than there are pending sales. So you're seeing a lot of listings on the market, fewer than last year, but they're sitting and not going pending quite as quickly as they are coming onto the market. So, and that's easy to kind of see here with the average days on market. 58 days on market is the average, 2 days more than this time last year. 2 months is starting to feel normal. You know what I mean? In actuality, I don't think 2 months is that long for homes to sit on the market. It definitely feels long compared to the height of the market, but when sellers put their home on the market, everyone is very optimistic and hopeful that buyers will flood and love their home and put in multiple offers in the first weekend. We all want that and wish that. But ultimately, we are seeing homes get about 94.6% of asking price, roughly the same as it was this time last year. So homes are dropping their price, or buyers are negotiating, 5 to 6% off the asking price. So within those 58 days, if your home is sitting on the market that long, you're likely not getting full asking price, which is why it is so important to price your home well from the beginning. Your highest views are going to be when you first hit the market, when all of those buyers are getting pinged with their new listings in their portal, or if they're set up on Zillow or Redfin. So essentially, if you are trying to sell a home today, you need to price it well. And I know everyone hears that, it's like annoying, right? But what I see is, if you go on too high, or even on the higher side of fair market value, and you have to do a price drop, it signals to buyers that I'll just wait. You know, if there's not a sense of urgency in buyers right now. There is an urgency when they see something they like, but as you can see, fewer new listings, active listings are sitting for 60 days, and there's not a lot of fresh inventory. So they're looking at all of these stale listings, and the only time they get updated is when the price drops. And if they're in their portal and they're seeing most of the homes in their areas do price drops, their perception is, well, I'll just wait, prices keep dropping. So that's a little bit of tidbit of what's happening in Travis County. Happy to review Austin MSA, your specific neighborhood or county, so that you can kind of understand what's happening. But overall, the market has normalized. I do think we're near the bottom. I do think it's very hyper local where you live. Here on the east side, not a lot of new inventory. Homes tend to sit. I was looking for comps for my protest for my house, and there was like 6 houses in my neighborhood that sold last year that were 2,000 square feet or bigger. So, um, there's a great opportunity out there for buyers who can get a deal, get, money off the list price, take advantage of, the motivated sellers, and get a good deal right now, and just add some style, some taste, some design. These homes on the market are stale. There's nothing wrong with a lot of these. They just need a fresh coat of paint, some furniture, um, just a little taste. And I think a lot of sellers right now don't want to put the investment into staging, into styling. And I'm seeing that across the board. So the homes that show well and are priced well, they will go. And they sometimes will go with multiple offers, especially in an area with very low inventory. Um, but yeah, I think for those waiting for more inventory to hit the market this summer, it's not looking like more things are going to come. It's possible for sure. But when I looked at the stats of 2025 to 2026, we definitely have a lot less inventory than we did this time last year. So hard for a realtor trying to sell houses to buyers that are having a hard time seeing the value. And I get that. So I've been starting to use AI to try to show people what a home could look like with just a little bit of vision, just a little coat of paint, some landscaping. And I think there's a prime opportunity for investors out there to pick up a property that has good bones, that doesn't need a full remodel. You're not needing to pull permits. You just need to come in and give it some zhuzh. Like, give these properties some zhuzh. The buyers out there, they don't want to do it. They don't see the opportunity to buy something and make it their own. They are paying 20% less in rent. They're happy where they are. Again, not a sense of urgency. So why would they want to spend more in a mortgage payment, especially the ones that are moving up, that are maybe with the 3% interest rate, that have to move? They're like, oh, I don't want a project. I'm already spending more money. So but they will spend more money if they fall in love. That's the thing. Buyers will fall in love with a property and have to have it because they deserve it, right? It's champagne taste on a beer budget. They walk into a property and they feel, I deserve this. I should live here. I see myself here. This is the house that makes me want to be the person I want to be. I work hard. I deserve this. When they walk into a house that's just unimagined, sad, has scuff marks, has, dust in the vents. Ew, right? They're like, "Mm, I have to do work. Like, is it really worth this?" Like, they're already like thinking in their head, you know, this is 500,000 and they don't even know how much it costs to paint. In their head, it could cost them $30,000 to paint, right? So we either have to, as realtors, sell them on the idea of what this could be, get, quotes and pricing on like, hey, this you could buy something and make it your own, and that's exciting. Or these sellers need to invest in making these properties more attractive to these buyers out here. So things are sticky, things are a little stale, things are quiet. I know there's some realtors out there that are crushing it, and that's amazing. My sales are doing great. Obviously, there's plenty of room for more, but I'm consistently just hearing a lot of the same thing. I want to buy, the right property comes up, the right opportunity. So it's not just going to fall in your lap. And real estate investing is not passive. You do have to be proactive. You do need to have a bit of creativity. The numbers are very hard to make things work with the higher interest rates and the lower rents. So, what you really need to focus on is that upfront equity capture. If you believe that the Austin market is going to increase in value, if you think that the migration, the population growth, the airport expansion, the transportation on I-35 and Project Connect and the convention center and the Dell Medical School with MD Anderson bringing 10,000 jobs, and I could go on and on and on. If you think that these billions of dollars of investment that's happening in Austin today is going to increase property values over the next 5-10 years, now is a good time to get in at the bottom. And maybe you do have to house hack. Maybe you do buy a duplex and live in one side. Maybe you buy a house that, you live in for a little bit, you give it a little zhuzh, and then you sell it when the market goes up. There is so much opportunity right now while the market is stale. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a hard sell. I'm not here saying, get in the market today, hurry up, blah, blah, blah. No, let's chat. Think about what you're seeing, what you're hearing, make observations about your neighborhood, about what's happening in your industry. There's a lot of change, and I know that's scary. A lot of people are scared. There's a lot of people who are making a lot of money who no longer work at these tech companies. I know Meta just laid off another 8,000 people. AI is changing the game, and it's going to make a lot of millionaires. It's going to make a lot of billionaires. It's going to make a lot of people rich for those people who get in and learn to evolve and adapt, just like we've had to do generations before us. We're all going to be okay. I know it's scary, and you might be like, Chloe, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't understand. I was making $500,000 as an engineer, and now I can't even get a job, or I have a job that's paying me half as much. Yeah, I sympathize. I was making really good money in 2021, and I am dealing with making half as much. I relate. There are months I go where I don't make any money, and then there's months that I make enough money to pay my bills and put enough money aside. And there's some months I'm dipping into savings. Like, it is chaotic. I feel the stress that people have right now, the heaviness, but I also see a lot of excitement, a lot of innovation, and a lot of opportunity. And I hope that whatever it is you're going through in today's just crazy world, um, I hope that my optimism and excitement does not come across as salesy, and I hope it doesn't come off as tone deaf. I, you know, I've I've gone through some similar things that people who are struggling have gone through when it comes to, the ups and downs of the market and the job market in particular. Um, so I empathize, and I've also had to make changes in my business and to my lifestyle to kind of work around what's happening in the last several years. But if you do have an opportunity, whether you JV or partner with someone to get into the real estate business, whether you're trying to get out and put the money in the stock market, I am here to talk to you about your specific situation, because everybody is different and not everyone has the risk tolerance for real estate. But if you do, I can help you. There's some exciting things I'm seeing, especially in multifamily, in duplexes, triplexes. There's a lot of them on the market. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think landlords want to be landlords anymore. So the new wave can come in and reimagine some of these properties. So, anyways, that's my spiel. Catch you next time.